He was a Pro Bowler every one of those years. He was an All-Pro player for a couple of those years. He is a top 5 wide receiver in football when he is at his peak, and he has been at his peak for the greater half of the last half decade. Shady McCoy, you played with the Bills. You played with Josh Allen. You played with McDermott, the head coach. You did not play with Diggs, but you know him and that family well. Was it smart, after all of the chaos, to move on from Stefon Diggs?
I hate this. I really do. I hate when really great duos break up, right? When Shaq and Kobe broke up, I hated it. I can go on for hours about breakups. But to answer your question, I want to say no, right? I think they shouldn't have split ways, but then again, I don't know how Josh Allen and the Bills may think about this. I had a chance to see Trevon Diggs, his brother, Stefon Diggs' brother, and he told me, he said, yo, my brother going to Houston. I said, ain't no way they gonna make that happen. You think they'll let him go to Houston? And it happened. So I'll just say this, man. For Stefon Diggs, he's coming from Minnesota, and I guess people knew he was good. I didn't know how good he really was. He got to Buffalo, and he was lights out. I'm like, whoa, they can't get rid of this guy. And then Josh Allen. I played with Josh Allen. He was a hell of a player, but he wasn't on this level. And I feel like they're the best matchups. When you put Stefon with Josh, they win games, right? They get to the playoffs. They put stats up. Josh numbers elevated, so has Stefon Diggs elevated as far as number-wise. So when I think about it, like, I love the matchup they have together. And then I want to say this. Houston is going to get a dog, right? But when you look at the Bills, what they got? Because Gabe Davis is out the door, right? Stefon, who's top 5, top 3, whoever you ask, he's out the door. So now you got Curtis Samuels. He's still there. Who else they got?
Tight ends, Knox and Kincaid.
Come on, what are we talking about? So as we look at the Bills, we look at them as a good team because of the players they have. Look at the defense for the Bills. A lot of them left, right? Your best corner, Tre'Davious White, he's gone. Oh, both of your safeties is gone. You got Hyde and you got Poirier. Who you got? Milano's coming off a knee injury, and Von Miller, I mean, he's a great player. He was a great player, and he's still. So when I look at this team, it's like, yo, we look at them as one of the top teams in the AFC. We look at one of the top teams in the AFC East. Now we look at him as like a good quarterback and a good coach, and we don't know. So I hate this move for Stefon, and I hate it for the Bills and Josh Allen. I think Stefon will do well with C.J. Stroud, oh, my God, and the Texans, and they are a big team to watch out for.
Shady, I don't like the move, but I do think it was a smart one. I think it was real smart.
You do?
Well, Shady, you of all people on this desk may be the most proficient business person, right? You done bought houses, you done sold houses, you just opened up
in the hood, and
no
in the
doubt about
I do both.
Culturally safe.
Come on.
You've done it all. So, Shady, more than anything, you know business. It was smart to move on from Stefon Diggs because you always have to sell high. Buy low, sell high. Okay. The Bills, they bought incredibly high with Stefon Diggs. Y'all know they're paying him a premium, but then they traded him for a second-round pick? That's great math. Remember, Randy Moss at age 30 got a 4th-round pick. Stefon Diggs got a 2nd. The Buffalo Bills know better than anybody if Stefon Diggs is over the hill, if his talent is deteriorating. The Bills know that. So if you are able to fleece the Texans for a 2nd-round pick in the most wide receiver-heavy draft we have seen in a mighty long time, this is the time to do it. It's about 6 or 7 first-round grade talents at the wide receiver position in this draft. So if you can move on from a $28 million a year caliber receiver in Stefon Diggs and get yourself a $2 million a year receiver, or maybe a $2 million in totality of his contract receiver in a 2nd round, that's what you have to do. Incredibly good timing by the Bills. If you were going to move on, sell high because you already bought high, Joy.
Things fall apart.
Yes, they do.
Nothing
Quick.
lasts forever. There's been a lot of smoke around this couple.
Yes, there we go.
For a couple of years.
So
maybe they just needed to extinguish it. Now, I don't know how much I lean into these rumors. Generally, when I think that there's like rifts in the locker room, usually comes after a loss. So it's like, all right, people tend to be upset after you don't accomplish your goals. But we've had these conversations about these two for a couple years now. So it doesn't seem that shocking that they eventually broke up. The sad part about it is, man, what they were together. Josh Allen, no All-Pros, no Pro Bowls, no MVP votes before Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs, no All-Pros, no Pro Bowls before Josh Allen. We can go down all of the numbers, all up in every category for the two of them when they're together. And that's really not that surprising. These are two great players paired up. But the relationship has to be there, too. Yeah. And again, I don't have insight into what went on in the locker room. I don't know what goes on with the two of them. They could be great friends, and this could be all BS. But there was a lot of smoke around it. There were a lot of conversations around it. It seems like there was at least something happening here. Maybe it was just that they weren't accomplishing what they set out to do. That could be as simple as that. But I don't love to say that it was a smart move because Stefon Diggs is such a good player and because they were so good together. Do I think that Josh Allen will still be a great player? Yes. Do I think Stefon Diggs still has a lot left in the tank? Yes. Obviously, Houston does. It's just, it's going to be sad to not watch them together. They were fun to watch. They had a lot of success. They put up big numbers. They were box office when they were together, and they were flying high. It's too soon to say if this was a smart move. But again, players don't very rarely spend their entire careers, especially at this position, with one team. He's already not been with one team. So it's not that surprising to me. It's just too soon to tell if it will be a smart move or not.
Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised. It had to happen. When you just talk about everything that, happened off the field, you talk about, kind of the rocky relationship, especially these last couple of years that they've had. We've seen Stefon Diggs throwing his hands up. You know what I mean? Most of the time, Josh Allen turns the football over. He's trying to force the ball to Stefon Diggs, which he should. He is a great player. But I always tell people all the time, once they figure out they can win without you, you are going to get traded if you're that type player. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, over the last 8 to 10 games of the football season, when Josh Allen was playing at a high level, they were in a lot of 2 tight end sets. They were running the football extremely well, and Josh Allen was play-action passing. Stefon Diggs did not have a 100-yard game. He had 1 touchdown within that 8-game span. They found out we can win without him, and our quarterback still can play at a high level. On top of the pouting, on top of the relationship with Josh Allen that we've seen. Like Joy said, I truly believe we probably see these dudes on vacation, chilling and all that type of stuff. I believe they have that type of relationship. But what we've seen with our 2 eyes on the football field, the relationship was going down. And Josh Allen was still playing at a high level when Stefon Diggs was not balling. And that's why I truly believe they dealt him. And I think Josh is going to have a really good season, and I think Diggs is going to have a really good season.
Here's why I think it was smart, though, because, Joy, if James is accurate in saying it had to happen, if it had to happen, if you can get a second-round pick for a 30-year-old receiver, brilliant. I mean, again, a 30-year-old receiver is usually viewed as over the hump. So if it did have to happen, and I agree, James, at the point in which we saw all that drama on the field, we all seen locker rooms, been in locker rooms. We already know what time it is. But, Shady, you have a lot to say.
Yeah, real quick. So I'm trying to just put this together, what y'all trying to say. So y'all think the Bills are in a better spot now that Stefon's not there?
Nope.
I think Josh is.
Ooh. How?
I'll break it down for you.
Please, break it down for me, please. Teach me something.
I've played with a lot of good receivers.
Yes, you have.
A lot of talented receivers, Pro Bowl dudes, all-pro dudes, all that, right? When you have a guy like Stefon Diggs in there and you see the body language, you see the pouting, you see in the huddle, I'm open, get me the ball. A quarterback is wired to where I want to make everybody happy, especially my star receiver. You start forcing the football to him, trying to make him happy. It's not the right throw, it's not the right read, but I have to get the ball to Stefon Diggs. As a play caller, man, Stefon Diggs ain't being involved. I see his body language. I see this. He talking to Josh. He doing that. Let's try to call some plays to get him involved. As a quarterback, that's why, and we'll get into the C.J. Stroud thing, that's why I'm not super excited about him going with C.J. Stroud, too, because C.J. Stroud didn't have that last year. He went through his reads. I'm going to go where I want to go with the ball. So for me, Josh Allen doesn't have that anymore, and that's why over these last 10 games, this 10-game span, Josh Allen was in these MVP votings, playing at a high level, and Stefon Diggs wasn't balling.
I'll say this real quick. You're a wide receiver, but, I mean, you know this. Any number 1 receiver, they want the ball, and they don't get the ball, how they act. I don't know no number 1 receiver that don't act like they don't want the rock. Now, some might do it like Diggs and all that, and some might be quiet about it. I ain't even talking. Everybody's different, right? So you know you're a wide receiver, but we don't gonna act like every number 1 receiver in the league don't act like that if they don't get the ball. That's one part. 2 parts is Josh Allen he ain't no rookie. He ain't no guy that just try to do this. He a dude like Stefon's a dude. I don't gotta force you the ball. I'm that dude. I'm him. So when you say that, it sounds like a young wide receiver or a young quarterback trying to find himself. No. He ain't C.J. Stroud. So if you don't want the ball, look, I'm trying to get you the ball. If you're not open, I'm not throwing it, or I'm not forcing it. I think in Josh's nature, before Stefon came, he forced the ball. I played with him, right? It ain't just a number 1 receiver. He always forced. That's what he is. There's times where the dudes is, I mean, he's forced the ball in general. I ain't gonna get into Josh. I'll just say this. I truly think, and I don't know, I'm not in the locker room, right, where because Josh is easy to get along with, right? And I think that sometimes maybe if Stefon was showing him up with this and that, and you never know how that may make Josh feel. So then when Josh how he speaks to because They didn't make this move without talking to Josh.
No question.
Right?
That's
So
another
it
thing.
probably was something there. I just hate this part of the game where when you're such a good player, you think you could do it with anybody, right? If it's Josh or Stefon, whoever it may be. I'm putting myself in the shoes because I've been there where when I left Philadelphia, I was like, man, I'm Shady McCoy. Like, it ain't gonna matter where I go. I'm gonna get busy. Until I left Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, Michael Vick, a really
And that
good
O-line.
offensive line.
And that O-line.
Right. And then I go to Buffalo. And I had a great time in Buffalo, but it was a lot harder. Right? And now I don't have them guys. I had good teammates.
Yeah.
They weren't super talented. So I had to do way more. Right? I just feel like if you look at Josh, the way he played when he got Stefon, he went way up here. You look at Stefon when he got Josh, he went way up here.
Yeah.
When they break up, I just hate to see it. But
So
we'll
for
see.
me, really quick, because I played with a really good one in Aaron Rodgers, right, who was a veteran. But the way quarterbacks are wired, right, and I was blessed to play with a really good group that wasn't selfish like this. Greg Jennings wasn't no diva. Jordy Nelson wasn't no diva. Randall Cobb wasn't no diva. I wasn't no diva. We wasn't whining and pouting over the football. Right. We had a really good group, right? Jordy balled, I felt like, cool, that's my brother, I ball. Greg ball, same way, right? So we didn't have no diva. But Aaron Rodgers, the way he was wired, if we would go into a game and the game presented itself, Jordy gonna have a lot of targets this game. That's the way the game presented. They rolling over here, Jordy gonna eat, Greg gonna eat. He would come to me and be like, JJ, I apologize, bruh. I'm gonna spin it to you next game. I'm like, bruh, go through your stuff. Like, if it's meant for me to get his, but that's the way quarterbacks
He might have
wired.
liked you.
And when you a big-time #1 receiver, whether we like it or not, Josh Allen is going to try to make you happy to force you this ball. I'm hoping C.J. Stroud ain't like that, and he take a step back.
Joy, do you think the Bills are better off? Could it be an addition by subtraction situation?
Don't it sound crazy hearing it tell Joy the way he said it? Like, it just sound crazy.
It's just, it's too soon to tell. It's hard because these moves happen all the time, right? And we see them work out, we see them not work out. But we know what Josh Allen is with Diggs. We know what Diggs is with Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is talented enough to still have success without Stefon Diggs. I think Stefon Diggs is talented enough to have success outside of Josh Allen.
Yep.
Will they ever be as good statistically as they were? I don't know. We'll see. I think Josh Allen has more time on his side just because of the nature of the position that he plays and he's younger and all that. Like, I think he has more time on his side. So that narrative may spin it forward in his direction positively. But it's hard to lose somebody as talented as Stefon Diggs and say that they're in a better situation. Maybe they will be. But what I will say to this is, because we don't know what their relationship is, and it
ain't great.
You know it's not good.
Look, man, let's cut the bull crap. I'm telling y'all from my it ain't great.
You know it's not good.
I don't like to speak on personal things I don't have any access to. So all I'm basing my opinion on is the smoke that we've seen and the conversations
his brother
and the
and
actions.
Stefon and
look, you don't got to do it. I'm telling you, it's not a great relationship.
Okay, so okay, so fine. I'll trust you on that. That being the case, trusting you on that being the case, this is a relationship that needs to be positive. Like, the #1 receiver and the quarterback kind of got to be on the same page. Yeah. And especially if they are both dogs. If it's a young wide receiver, to Shady's point, he just emerged, and it's Josh Allen, maybe Josh Allen can be like, look, youngin, this is my team. You may be the #1 receiver, but I'm that guy. But they're both that guy. So if they're both that, it's not meshing, then maybe it's good for the Bills, and maybe it's good for Stefon Diggs. It's just hard for me. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah. I got to see what they both look like without each other, because the numbers
so different, right?
Say something else.
And we always think that it's always greener on the other. So we always think that, though, right? Like we think that Stefon go to Houston and ball. I think that. You get on Stefon Diggs, man, he gonna eat. He gonna ball. You got C.J. Stroud. Now, C.J. Stroud ain't Josh Allen, but he's nice.
Yeah.
And then you think Josh Allen is so good that, look, man, I don't know who they got over there wide receiver because they don't have a lot, but, yo, he gonna ball. We think that. Yeah, we don't know that.
Here's my thing.
Together they are special.
Go ahead. And I'll be quick, because I remember in 2013, 2014 in Philly when we got rid of Shady and we got rid of Jack, and then we didn't re-sign Maclin, Chip Kelly thought, you know what I'm saying, addition by subtraction.
And you didn't think that, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's the thing about it, and I'll be very clear and concise with it. In the NFL, every team has about 3 freakazoids. Got about 3. You can literally go by roster, and you can count up they 3. Some teams, like the Niners, got 5 to 6. Some teams, like the Panthers last year, probably had 1 in Brian Burns. Every team got about 3.
I agree.
If you lose one of your 3, when you just go to battle, figurative battle, when you step on the field, you start looking and you be like, wait, they got 7 and we only got 1. Stefon Diggs is one of those freakazoids. Yeah. With him being gone, you just go into war without enough weapons. Like when Shady and D-Jack left, we just started going to battle without, like, we didn't have enough. It didn't matter how hard we practiced, how tough we were, how physically, mentally. We needed a freak. We needed a freakazoid, and we just lost one.
Who was the quarterback?
It was Sam Bradford after that.
Okay, exactly. So Sam Bradford's not Josh Allen. And then you're replacing 2 all-pro players.
Well, hold on now. What's his name?
Which one?
DeMarco Murray. I mean, he was a hell of a player. He was an all-pro running back.
So we all agree that Josh Allen is a better quarterback than C.J. Stroud.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can we agree on that?
Right now, absolutely.
What type of year did C.J. Stroud have?
A great one. For a rookie. For a rookie, a great one.
He made every single person around him better. We just talked in a meeting where Shady, like, who is Nico Collins? He turned this man to 1,100 yards wide receiver. He made everybody around him better, right? Throwing the football, did he have a better year than Josh Allen?
You can make the argument.
100%.
Yeah, you can make the
Did he
argument.
have Stefon Diggs?
No, sir.
No, so that's all I'm saying. These really good quarterbacks.
It's going to get harder, though, right?
Sometimes when you have a bona fide number one receiver, you're locked in.
I see what you're
I'm
saying.
scared for C.J. Stroud because C.J. Stroud is not a true veteran. To be honest with you, Stefon Diggs has done way more than C.J. Stroud has done in this league.
Of course.
So when Diggs comes up in that huddle and looks at him like, bruh,
He got a point.
open. I just don't want the development of the young quarterback to go down.
Or
They could go crazy.
Or Stefon Diggs could come in with a little chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? Where he's
Can we
hearing
see
all
that
these
happen?
conversations.
Yeah, that's bad math, though.
Josh Allen.
Bad math.
In a good way. That he has something to prove.
On the other side of that, though, right? He could be like that, or C.J. Stroud like, I got him here, thank God. Because sometimes you have a better player on your team, it makes it easier.
Shady, you brought this up, and I listened to you when you speak. You've been my dog for over a decade now. You brought this up, how when you got into the league, you, Jeremy Macklin, J-Mac, D-Jack, y'all all grew up together.
Right.
Like, y'all was all young boys together. Y'all learned together. What the Texans had, which I think we took for granted last year, and the Warriors had it, they was all young boys.
Yes.
Who was Nico Collins? Who was Tank Dell? Who was C.J. Stroud? So we all just like, hey, bruh, we just all kind of learning this joint together. We all just gonna figure it out together. There was no ego because nobody had anything to be cocky about.
Right.
Dalton Schultz was probably the most proven skill player on the team, and he was a tight end that the Cowboys was like, we good on you. Only reason I'm saying that is I do feel, James, when everybody's coming up together and there's no ego, we just gonna figure it out. But now you bringing in a receiver who got 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Tank Dell, cool, you got lucky. Nico Collins, that 1,200 you had last year, I need that.
That's the league, though. That's the league. What do we expect Houston to do? Sit on their hands and only ever build through the draft? They're never going to go out and make some big swings. They're not going to bring in any veterans.
But who? To me, it's a matter. It's a fit, because to your point, Joy, all of winning, and it isn't just about the talent. It is about the locker room. I don't know Stefon Diggs at all, but there is a .25. There is a point, Joy, where it's like, do you want to bring somebody who is as publicly disruptive? I can't speak privately. I don't know Stefon Diggs privately, but who is as publicly disruptive when all you had last year? You had a rookie OC. You had a rookie head coach.
He was only disruptive when. First of all, I don't even like describing him as disruptive. Like,
he was, though, objectively. He didn't go to camp. He's doing like that.
That was happening after they were losing. Like when that wasn't happening during the season, that wasn't the problem.
But this is the only thing. Since Stefon Diggs has got to the Buffalo Bills, with all this stuff that we can say, he ain't a cancer, whatever it is, we've seen certain stuff to where it's like, come on, bro, right? We've seen certain stuff, him and Josh Allen again. We've seen certain stuff off the field with him and the organization. We've seen all that. He was the most targeted player in the National Football League. So we can't throw it to you enough, and we still getting this. So that's what I'm saying. CJ is a really young player who did not have to deal with this of trying to say, I got to get the ball to him. That changes the way the quarterback plays the position.
What you think? What you think?
I have nothing else to say. This is crazy. Y'all acting like Stefon coming there is like a bad thing. Like they didn't get smoked in the playoffs with the wide receivers they had. Did that not happen?
It did.
Like, so you gonna go? You telling me with the wide receiver core they got, they just gonna go to the promised land with them dudes? And now you got stuff like things you like, I don't know if I should have. What are we talking about?
The quarterback played at a really high level with what he
it's going to get harder. Do you agree?
I agree.
All right, now you're going to be on tape. Now we know everything about you. We didn't know nothing about you, right? Some college stuff, had some good games, some good and bad, more good than bad. Hell of a year. Yep. It's going to get harder, though. Tank Dell, hell of a young receiver, right? it's going to get harder, and you need a dude like Stefon. For y'all to act like it's like an issue that he's there. It was crazy. Every top wide receiver, every top athlete I know that's a number one, that's him, acts like that. You ain't getting enough targets. They not going to be talking about it? What are we talking about here?
Do you think the Texans...
This is crazy.
Do you think the Texans needed Diggs?
What you think? Do they need a number one receiver, yes or no? It's a simple question. Yes, hell yeah. Did you see him get smoked in Baltimore? He got smoked. Did you not see that game? Yeah, so my thing is this. When I got these other young receivers, I'm not trying to hate on the receivers. They are solid receivers.
You saying right, they're not Diggs.
They're not Diggs. All right. So now that I have that type of guy, when I'm in the huddle, I'm safe. Because I don't have to be perfect. I know if I throw him the ball, he gonna make a guy miss, do this and that.
But I do think, here's the thing, hold on real quick, because I do think what I like about doing a show with Shady is Shady often you come from your vantage point and I come from mine. Because you come from your vantage point, you never saw you. I saw you.
Okay.
I saw Jack. I saw D-Matt. I saw Fletcher Cox. There is a pressure when you are in the huddle with a superstar, realizing I have to cater to that superstar. You were the superstar, so you never saw it because we were all looking at you. So the point I'm making is I hear you wholeheartedly. I'm not even trying to vehemently disagree with you, but I do understand the left side of my table and the takes there of when there is a Diggs in the huddle, there now is a little bit more of a pressure of, I gotta feed him. You're right, there is a relief.
When we left, right?
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.